Hello, people of YouTube, people of internet, and people of world. It is I, the Classic Juan, coming to you from inside of my mobile studio with my good friend, as always, Mega Man. So today I wanted to give you an update / do a little bit of a review. So we have a game next week that will be released that we have all been looking forward to here at BeerDead. And what that game is Friday the 13th, the game. It will be released on May 26th, and something really cool is going to happen in that you're going to get to catch all of the BeerDead crew, the three of us, streaming simultaneously from our Twitch accounts, which I will link below, of that game. And so the premise of that game is Jason Voorhees, main villain, is trying to kill the campers at the lake, Crystal Lake. So that's pretty basic. 4 campers, 1 Jason. Who will survive? That is the question. So that's generally the premise of the game. So Jason's ultimate goal is to kill all the campers, and the camp counselor's ultimate goal, 4 of them, is to kill Jason, or escape Jason, or call the police so they kill Jason. So multiple ways to win as campers, only one way to win as Jason. So it's kind of a 4-on-1. Obviously, Jason is super powered, so it'll be fun. But you'll be able to catch us on our Twitch accounts. We will all be streaming simultaneously. You'll be able to jump between the 3 of us. We will all be in the same game at the same time, so you can get the perspective of Jason if one of us is him, or the campers for those of us who aren't Jason, or if we're all campers, that'll be even more fun. And so you'll have that option to flip between. So please join us for our streaming. I know Memorandum is going to be streaming for 24 hours, so his Twitch will constantly be running. Gabe of all trades and Jack of all Gabes will be on, and I will also be on simultaneously, and so that'll be fun. By the way, Jack of all Gabes is formerly known as 4.5 Star Gamer, so just a little update there. So what I wanted to talk about quickly today was Friday the 13th game for the NES. Yes, there was a Friday the 13th game for the NES, and it was reviewed poorly. People did not like the Friday the 13th game from back in the day. It was extremely convoluted, complex. It was really hard. People died a lot. And so just generally people were not a fan. Now in retrospect, I think a lot of people are changing their minds about that. And let me tell you why. I think that what did happen was what we've talked about multiple times before. The idea of video games is generally thought of by older generations as something that kids do. Kids play video games. And so some of these games that came out for Nintendo back in the day were extremely difficult, not because they were hard, but because the kids that were playing them did not have the mental capacity to properly play through the game or understand the premise of the game or even understand the mechanics of the game. Sometimes they were so complex. And so Friday the 13th, the game, I think was a little ahead of its time, and that was unfortunately its undoing back then. Now I think it would be extremely well received and well reviewed as a game. And so what made this game extremely complicated was that there was counselors that you played as, and you would switch between all of them during the gameplay. But what wasn't kind of well understood was that each one of these counselors had a unique set of skills. And those unique set of skills was not delineated in any part of the game. Not in the inserts that came with the game, nor as you were playing the game. It was something that you had to figure out as you played along. And obviously that kind of insight was real difficult for kids to pick up because this whole idea of playing video games was novel. So the fact that characters had unique abilities or unique skills or some were better than others at things was just something that escaped us at that point in time. And so that made it difficult to grasp. Secondly, there was an actual set of tasks that needed to be completed to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed at the game. Once again, a very novel idea at the time. And so things that you wouldn't think of before initially kids like myself playing the Nintendo expected a game to be very linear. It needed to be linear. Mario was linear. Mega Man, linear. Metroid, fairly linear. So all of these games were just linear. And so you didn't have to do a lot of thinking outside the box. You walk forward, you shoot, and you complete the level and you move on. Friday the 13th wasn't like that. Friday the 13th required you to bounce between multiple camp counselors, completing certain tasks, some of which were better handled by some counselors versus others. And so you had that difficulty of kind of using an 8-bit graphic rendering to try to understand which counselors did what, how good they were at it, and how to complete all these tasks, all of which were unknown. Nobody gave you a heads up. It was just kind of a plop down, here you go, figure it out. And that was some of the greatness of the old school gaming, was one of those things where you just had to figure it out. And those that were better at playing games, not because they were better at playing games necessarily, but because they were outside of the box thinkers, they were more in tune with understanding concepts and things of that nature, or were just generally older, could pick up on these things and had better success with these games. And so you would see that. And Friday the 13th is a classic example of that. So I do plan on going back and playing through Friday the 13th. It'll probably be here in the next couple of weeks. I will play through the NES version of it, stream it on my Twitch account. I hope you guys can come and watch that. I have never passed this game, and I have never played this game for longer than a couple of hours when I was a kid. And so it'll be kind of a whole new experience for me. I did read up a little bit on it and try to get a good understanding of the intricacies of the game, just so it's not a constant get killed by Jason, get killed by Jason, get killed by Jason that you're watching. You're actually getting some hopefully helpful information while we're going through it. And I'll talk a little bit about the history of the game and the way that it was received, and just little bits and pieces and hopefully helpful information that'll help you guys play through the game and actually enjoy it, not have to deal with the anger and frustration of having to repeatedly die, although it's a Nintendo game, so the chances of you dying anyway are extremely high. So just be prepared for that, because I mean that's kind of the premise of the Nintendo. You got to have endurance and determination. That's what makes classic gaming so awesome. So join us Friday, May 26th. The BeerDead crew will be streaming live on Twitch. You guys can see our accounts below. Follow us, enjoy us, chat with us while we're playing. We're happy to have a conversation. That's what it's all about. Memorandum, Jack of all Gabes, TheClassicJuan will be playing. It will be enjoyable. Shortly thereafter, I should be streaming Friday the 13th, the NES game, and come hang out with me. That'll probably be on a Friday or a Saturday. Shortly thereafter, May 26th, we'll go through the game. We'll have some good times. We'll drink some beer and hopefully chit-chat a little bit about classic games. So until that time, I hope to see you guys next week. I probably am going to do a video right before that. I like to put them out on Thursday. So if I don't do a video on Thursday, please join me on Friday for that awesomeness. So until then, keep it classic, guys.